Hi there, it's Tamara Dorris, and I was going to do one longer video on the three most important decisions you make in your life. But as I got to thinking about it, I realized, it might be like 20, 30 minutes. And I think a lot of people who are on YouTube don't really want to sit still that long. So I'm going to break it up into three, one for each decision. So these are important, you guys. These are like the decisions that we make, and it's not just about our business. It's about our health. It's about our relationships. It's about our life. So the first decision that you make in your life is how the world is. Now, the decision that you make as to how the world is can encompass a few different decisions. Like basically there's your core beliefs. So you can get these decisions from your parents or your caretakers, or from experiences that happen to you and the meaning that you give those experiences. We're going to touch on that a little bit more. I do want to let you know that on my podcast last week, the show is called, what was that episode called? Levels of Consciousness. And so I'll just give you a real short skinny on that. And if you want to go listen to it and learn more, you can. Levels of consciousness give us the opportunity to decide and determine how we see the world. People who decide to see the world from the to me perspective are, life's always happening to me. He did that to me. They did that to me. The government did that to me. The economy did that to me. They're victims. They're victims. And one thing that I got from one of my mentors, Peter Sage, a few years ago in his book, Inside Track, I think, when he was in prison, really good book. But he talked about the by me. And I've always operated in my teachings with the to me, the victims, or the for me and through me, right? So let's just touch on each of those. So to me is a victim. Things happen to me. I'm helpless. I don't know what. Okay, people who have developed that level of consciousness are going to think that everything that happens is happening to them. They're going to be victims, because if you think about it, if you grew up in a situation where your parents, or one of your parents, whatever, your caretakers were mean to you, or you were bullied or abused or neglected or abandoned, or you made meaning, this is so key, even if you weren't bullied or abused, but you made something someone said to you mean that you were being bullied or abused, you might very well have a to me. And we're going to talk about how to reverse this. That's the good news. So that's the to me. The newer one for me, and I've been talking about it a little bit the last year or so, is the by me. And the by me is the feeling that you have to just do everything yourself. David Hawkins wrote the great book, Power versus Force. And when we have power, which means we're, at an elevated, higher level of consciousness, a higher level of emotional freedom, we have power like Mahatma Gandhi. He had power. He didn't use any brute force to take over, the whole Britain thing. He just used his power. And we each have that power. We are each divine beings, and we have that power. But as Joe Dispenza has said before, we are always trying to make matter to matter. Like I'm trying to push to get something to go away, and I'm trying to pull to bring something to me. That's matter to matter. And it's like bone on bone, right? That's no good. What we want to use is our higher level, our frequencies, our higher levels of emotion, our imagination to make change. That's power. That's real power. But people that are in by me, they don't see it that way. They're the people that say, if you want it done, you got to do it yourself. And I'm not going to hire someone because I might as well just do it myself. And I've got to go pound on doors and, get people to buy my product or to hire me or whatever. That's the by me. And it's better. It's a higher level of consciousness than the to me, because it's not victim-y. But it's force. And it's not attractive. And I don't mean attractive as in like, hey, good looking, want to go out for a drink. I mean attractive in magnetic terms, right? We are always either attracting or repelling based on our own frequency. So the victim mode, the to me, is like definitely repelling like this, like, ah. But the by me is also repelling, but they're doing it through force. And you can accomplish a lot of things in life. You can become wealthy with the to me attitude, or I'm sorry, with the by me attitude. Because if you're taking action over and over again with determination, like I'm doing it, things are going to happen. You know, every time something moves, something happens. So you can succeed if you do by me. But when you get through me and for me, oh my God, life just gets delicious. I'm not saying I don't have days where I'm like, oh, this was not the greatest day. I'm not saying I don't have those days, because I do. Everyone does. If we were so evolved that we didn't have bad days, then we would no longer be on planet Earth. And I kind of like planet Earth because I like my dogs, I like my clients, and I really, really love my grandkids. So I don't want to go anywhere. But when you get to a certain level of enlightenment, then you don't need to be in an earth body anymore. Okay, so we're not talking about that stuff. I'm not going to say, oh, let's raise our consciousness. Let's, do that stuff. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you grow your business through your own faculties, which you have plenty of. Okay, so through me is recognizing that everything in your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And all of the challenges that arise are simply arising because of inner friction. In other words, if you've had the frequency of frustration, the hormones of stress and cortisol, and you had those, say, yesterday, and then today you have an issue come up, and you're getting mad at the issue. The issue is not the problem. The issue has never been the problem. And I'm not here to debate what about horrible, tragic things that happen. I talk about those things in some of my manifestation books because, people ask. But it's not where I spend my time, because where attention goes, energy flows. So I don't want to talk about school shootings and losing a loved one. I don't want to talk about those things. It's not what I choose to do with my energy. Does it happen? Yeah. Do you have to go through it? Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about here. Okay? And by the way, when you adopt these teachings, even those things, believe it or not, become easier. I had a scare the other day with my big dog, my big white dog. If you follow me on Facebook, Cody is going to be 9 years old in November. And he was having some health problems. And I mean, it took my breath away. I was so scared. Like it would be a huge, huge thing. And I see on Facebook, sometimes people lose a pet that they've had for 10, 15, 5 years, whatever. You love your babies, right? That's one of those things where it's like, I would definitely need some time to mourn. And I would be okay with that. I would want my time to mourn. Human beings are emotional creatures. So you're not going to mismanifest because you need to spend a few days crying your heart out. It's okay. That's part of being human. But it's when we can pick ourselves up and recognize, okay, as Shakespeare said, 'twas better to love and lost than never love at all. Or maybe it's, I'm going to grow from this. Or maybe it's, that was an experience that I've never had before, and now I know what pain is. Whatever the situation is, I don't know. I'm just saying that everything that happens to you happens through you, meaning it comes somewhere through you. You have something to do with it, or you wouldn't be there. You would not be observing it. We know this from quantum physics. The observer effect tells us the thing we observe is reacting to us observing it. The old saying about would you hear a tree fall in the forest? And the answer is no. If no one is there to hear it, It's not going to make a sound, right? That's the through me part. The to me or the for me part is that no matter how bad things are, we end up recognizing that they helped us grow. So I remember being so sick in my life. I mean, I was like at death's door. I had doctors say, this is not good. You are not getting out of here unless you want to have half your guts removed, right? And get plastic guts. Ooh, no. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And they said, you're not going to survive then. And I'm like, yeah, I will. Yes, I will. And I did. And it was a very hard road. Probably the hardest thing I ever had to do for myself was to heal from a devastating illness. Devastating. I was in ICU for 6 weeks. But now that that's past me, behind me, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It caused me to learn how to deal with anxiety, how not to internalize stress. It taught me how to take better care of my mind and my body. It gave me all the ammunition to go on a total health revival, which ended up in me writing my first health book. This is like, gosh, 22 years ago, probably. The book was called Get Well Now, How to Heal and Prevent Disease. And it was very holistic. And back then, I mean, the things I talk about in like essential oils, you know, people weren't using those things then. So it was very like, it was fringy. Anyway, moral of the story is when something bad happens, you can look back and you can go, oh yeah, that was probably a good thing. Like the job you didn't get or the relationship that didn't pan out, only so you could then meet your soulmate, only so then you could get, you know, the best career of your life, right? So things that happen that we don't like, we get to decide if they're happening through us or for us. But wait, there's another aspect to this. The aspect is if everything's happening through me and to me, or excuse me, through me and for me, then don't I have control of it? And the answer is yes. Okay. So I digressed intentionally so you understood just the basics of the level of consciousness. But what I want to say now is that whatever experiences that you had when you were little, and I'm going to say birth to age 7, even though there's like pretty good evidence that says even during the pregnancy, even while your mother was carrying you, the emotions that she felt, you felt. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. And so, but psychology can't go back that far, right? We don't have a measure. We don't have a metric system to determine how that affects. But I'm telling you, eventually we will. But what we do know is that even during the whole gestation period, you were getting beliefs handed down to you. Now, we also know that through ancestral lineage, that like if your parents thought people in our family always die at age 45, that's in your belief system, right? That's a decision that you made, even if you didn't make it on purpose. If your parents taught you that you're worthless, that's a decision you made. Or maybe, like I said before, something happened and it made you interpret yourself as worthless. You have to remember, when we're little kids, we are operating on a theta brainwave, and we're very hypnogenetic. I mean, we're very like, or hypnagogic, whatever it is. I should know, I'm a hypnotherapist, right? But we're in that hypnotic state, so we internalize everything. If mommy gets hurt, I feel like I'm getting hurt. That's just how it is when we're little. So these decisions that you made, here's what's really important. When you made those decisions, some of them might be, the world is not a safe place. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. Money is hard to come by. Nobody can love me. I'm unlovable. Okay, I just rattled off 5 off the top of my head because those seem to be the really common ones. When we made those decisions, and remember, we did not make them consciously. Anything we made, any decision we made from age birth or prior to about age 7, we were in a lower reduced brain frequency. And, you know, we were only in the theta until we were about 3 or 4. Then we go into the alpha up until we're about 7. But it's still a hypnotic brainwave. So it's impressed upon you and you just believe it. This is how the media and the government manipulate us. They get us into an alpha brainwave in some of these shows and music and TV and whatever, and then they feed us messages repetitively and subliminally, and then we're like, oh yeah, that's what I think. No, you don't. It's been fed to you. This is why you have to stay in charge of your own mind, okay? So these decisions that you made, once you made them, now this portion of your brain called the reticular activator system, it says, excuse me, what do we believe? What did you say down there? Oh, we believe that? Okay, got it. And now it creates a filter that says, these are the 5 beliefs we have, and cross off anything else that you come across. Anything else. Like if you think I'm in the way because your parents made you feel like that, or you made yourself feel like that, that's how you interpreted an event or an experience, your reticular activator system is filtering out every single idea that maybe you're not in the way, because it's contrary. If you feel you have this belief you're in the way, your reticular activator system is going out and looking for experiences and evidence being a key word here. It's looking for evidence to reiterate and prove that that belief is correct. Crazy, right? Neuroscience. So as long as we have these, and this is why, oh my gosh, those of us who have been in the self-help, personal transformation, personal development field for as long, almost 30 years for me. It started with myself, but I've been teaching it since I've been writing books, so 22, 23 years or longer. The point being that it's been the age-old thing. How do I change my self-limiting beliefs? How do I find them? Here's the really, really simple answer. Okay, and I might do a different video on this, but I still want to do the other 2 videos on the other 2 decisions. Here's the fast answer. The way you change a belief is 1, identify it, and 2, reverse it. How? I'll explain. You identify it by looking at your life. Tell me why you don't have what you want. And whatever you told me is a belief. So basic. We spend hours and years in therapy. It's so basic. If I say, why don't you have more money? And you say to me, it's too hard, that's a belief. People like me can't get rich, that's a belief. The economy is down, that's a belief. So what you have to recognize is that all of those beliefs, your whole life now, have been filtered through your reticular activator system saying, this is what we believe, and it's just been showing you evidence of it. Okay, so that's how you find your beliefs. Ask questions why you don't have what you want, and that's a belief. Boom. Now, how do we change it? We deconstruct it. We reverse construct it. If I have a belief that says money is hard to come by, and I want a belief that says money comes to me easily and effortlessly, all I have to do, and I say all I have to do like it's no big deal, but it really isn't if you will do this. All you have to do is create that belief and say, okay, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. And then you sit down and you come up with at least 20 things, 20 experiences where money came to you easily. Maybe you found a quarter on the street. Maybe your aunt sent you $5. Maybe you won a $3 scratch off. Maybe you got a raise. You look for evidence. And as you look for evidence, you do the meta-creation. You get yourself in a high vibration. And you get excited and you get grateful about the evidence you find. And you look for evidence every day consciously. And little things will show up. And you'll go like, wow, that was really easy. And what you're doing is you're reprogramming and rewiring and recoding the neural networks, the synapses that have gone together, your synapses, and you're telling them now, money's easy to come by. And now, after you collect this evidence, your reticular activator system is going to go, oh, Okay. She says money's easy to come by. Let's show her evidence. And you are going to start seeing things that you have never seen before. Everything you want is here right now. It really is. But you can't see it because the decisions you made when you were younger about how the world is and how you are in it, and your reticular activator system is keeping you from seeing it. So it was a really long 20-minute video, but it was really chock full of important things that I hope that you grasp or took notes on. You get to decide consciously where you are. Are you in it to me, a by me, or a through me and for me? That's the first thing. The second thing is decide what beliefs you have that you want to change. Forget the evidence that they're true. Of course they're true. Your reticular activator system has been working for decades to show you plenty of evidence that it's true. We want to reverse that. Show me evidence that it's not true. Instruct your brain that you want more evidence. And over time, and with the elevated emotions of excitement and expectation and gratitude, and it doesn't, if you like the money thing, it doesn't have to be just hard, cold cash. You could walk outside and go, wow, what an abundance nature has for me today. Check that off, reticular activator system. There's abundance. Your dog comes up and gives you hugs and kisses. There's another check. There's more evidence that things come to you easily, right? Abundance comes to you. They're so abundant. Okay? Please do this. Please do this, because my purpose, I believe it's my calling, is to help as many people as I can for free. And of course I have clients. Girls got to eat, but I want to help as many people as I can raise their level of consciousness. And when you raise your level of consciousness, you can create more abundance in your life. You can create more love. You can create more health. And what a better world it's going to be, right? It's going to be a better world for me. I'm not just doing it out of the goodness of my heart. I want to have a better world where more people have what they want. Anyway, thanks for watching, and check back. I will have the number 2 decision and the number 3 decision in the next few days. Okay, have a beautiful day, and thanks for watching.